Can you derive and integrate a few exponential functions? Okay then. Randy, that one I can do. So let's start off with y equals e to the power of x. Okay, y equals e to the power of x. So if you draw a graph of that, y equals e to the power of x, you draw a graph. Let's say you go to a point, so let's say we got x equals 0.3, just a random point. And you find out what y dash is. Okay, so y dash would be, so second calc, go to gradient, go to x is 0.3, and you can see when x is 0.3, y is 1.34, y dash is 1.34, the gradient is 1.34. Now the funny thing is, if you just go to trace and you find out what the y value is when x is 0.3, it's also 1.34. Wait, was it 1.3498? Let me just check that. Y, second calc, dy over dx, 0.3. Yes, it was 1.3498. So exactly the same. So when you differentiate an exponential function, you get y equals e to the x again. So that's why when you differentiate it, you just get e to the x. Okay, now unfortunately it's not going to be that easy in the exam. So instead of e to the x, we might, for example, give you y equals e to the power of 5x minus 4. So then you've got to use the chain rule when you differentiate. Differentiate the outside, multiply by differentiating the inside. So you're going to go y equals e to the power of 5x minus 4, because that's differentiating the outside. And then you're going to multiply by differentiating the inside, which is 5, because 5x minus 4, if you differentiate that, you'll just get 5. So multiply by 5. So the answer is 5 times e to the power of 5x minus 4. Okay, let's check if we are right for that one. So if you graph it, e to the power of 5x minus 4. Oops. And then you graph it. Ooh. And then let's say you go to a random point. Okay, the problem with this is the y min stuffed up. Let's just do -5 to 5. -3 to 3. Yeah, it's still like that. Anyway, e to the power of 5x minus 4, let's just go to when x is equal to 1, what x is equal to 1.5. When x is equal to 1.5, this is just checking. Y is equal to y dash is equal to, sorry. So graph, then you go to second calc, Number 6 for derivative, when x is equal to 1.5. Oh, the gradient is 165.57. What a huge number. Okay, now let's try typing that in. So let's go to, let's try typing that in. So check 5 times e to the power of 5 times 1.5 minus 4. Well, let's just go to, I might as well just type it in. 5 times e to the power of, what is that? E to the power of 5 times 1.5 minus 4. 165. So that's correct. Okay, this checking bit is optional. Okay, I'm just writing that to see that I'm doing it right. You don't need to do that. You just follow the chain rule. Okay, so now let's do a slightly harder one. So if I put in, let's say y equals e to the power of x squared minus 5x plus 7. Okay, you can again differentiate it into, you copy it down again, so you differentiate the outside, which gives you the same thing, and then you differentiate the inside of the bracket, which gives you 2x minus 5. So that's the answer. That's the answer for differentiating. Okay, so any questions for differentiating before we move on to integrating? Anyone? Randy, should I move on to integrating? Okay, so integrating, well then let's, good to see you here, Tom. Let's integrate some stuff. So let's integrate e to the x. Now, the cool thing about it is because when y is equal to e to the x, y dash is equal to e to the x. So when you're going backwards, you're integrating. So it's just the same thing again. E to the power of x plus c, because when you have a constant, it differentiates into nothing. So you could have something here that we don't know about. So that's why we write it there. That's why we write it there. Okay, so let's give you guys one with a constant in front. Let's go 5e to the x dx. So what you need to realize is that pretty much anything we give you, you want to be able to get to it from the original equation. So from the original equation, if I multiply by a 5 on the left, what happens? I have to multiply by 5 on the right. So then the answer is just 5ex plus, now you would write 5c, but 5c is just a constant again. Anything times by a constant is just another constant that we don't know about. So you can just write c. So then, yeah, that's the answer. That's the answer. So should I give you another one for practice? Let's do integrate half ex dx. Okay, so what do you do then? Yeah, who is Randy? Who is Randy? That's a weird name. Anyway, so now half e to the x, how did we get to half? Well, we must have gone from the original equation. We must have multiplied by a half on both sides. Right? So then what do we get? We'll get, because when you multiply by a constant, you can put that inside the integral. So then it's just half e to the power of x plus half c, which is just half e to the x plus c. Okay, now let's make it slightly harder then. Okay, let's have something in the power. So let's do 5e to the 4x dx equals. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, again we want to start with the original expression. Okay, let's start with the original. We got e to the x dx equals e to the x plus c. Now, what happens if I multiply this by a 4 in here? Then I'm going to get a 4 here as well, but I'm also going to get a 4 at the front. Right? Because if you guys remember, when you differentiate, which is going from here to here, is differentiate. Right? You have to differentiate the outside and the inside. So you differentiate the inside, multiply it at the front, you're going to get a 4 at the front. Okay, so so then what happens is, instead of a 4, this is a 5. So what you're going to do is you're going to multiply both sides by 5 over 4. Right, and the reason for that is because then you can cross out the 4's and then multiply the 5 in, so it's 5e4x dx equals 5 over 4 e to the power of 4x plus c. So there's your answer. Vishal Sholke. Hello, Vishal. Okay, now if you don't believe me, you can try differentiating it. So let y equal 5 over 4 e to the power of 4x. If you differentiate it, right, you copy down 5 over 4 e to the 4x, and then you multiply by the derivative of the inside, which is a 4. So then the 4 at the front and the 4 at the bottom cancel each other out. So it's 5e4x, which is what we wanted. So this is the answer. Okay, now if you can't remember how to do that, there is a formula, but I suggest you still learn it by recognition, which is pretty much what I'm doing. But if you really need a formula, basically it works like this. Integral of e to the power of ax plus b is equal to 1 over a times e to the power of ax plus b plus c. Okay, so you can put a constant at the front as well, and then you can simply just replace the 1 with a constant. Okay, so using that you might be a bit quicker for you, but you do have to memorize it, whereas using the way that I did before, you just need to know how to differentiate. So if I go, for example, 6e 5x plus 2, all you need to do is go 6 over 5 times e to the power of 5x plus 2 plus c. So then the answer is message retracted. Tom, what method did you retract? So there's your answer. Okay, now you can try differentiating it. If y equals 6 over 5 e to the power of 5x plus 2, when you differentiate, you copy the whole thing down, and then you multiply by the derivative of the inside, which is 5. So divided by 5 times by 5 cancel out, you get 6e 5x plus 2, which is what we wanted in the question. So this is correct. Okay, so now let's try and integrate something crazy. Let's try to integrate x cubed e to the power of 5x4, 5x to the power of 4 minus 7. Let's try and integrate that. If you can do it, you're a genius. Okay, let's get you guys to try that first, and I'll give you a few minutes and then I'll write up the answer. Okay, I'm guessing you guys have done that. So let's use it the recognition way. So integration by recognition. If y is equal to e to the power of 5x4 minus 7, then y dash equals differentiate the inside, which is 20x times e to the power of 5x to the power of 4 minus 7. So what is the difference? The difference is instead of 20, I just have 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply both sides by 1 over 20. So if I multiply this left hand side by 1 over 20, then I have to multiply the right hand side by 1 over 20, so this just disappears. Okay, so what is the answer? The answer is 1 over 20 e to the power of 5x 4 minus 7 plus c. If you don't believe me, try and differentiate it. You'll get that answer. Okay, well, it seems like we have pretty much done it all. You guys didn't ask me any more questions about anything, so yeah. Nice work, guys. See you next time. Thanks for watching.